In today's breaking news, Vietnamese Prime Minister announced in a closed-door cabinet meeting that some Vietnamese banks associated with SBI Japan already utilize XRP for cross-border payments, and their goal is to get all of their banks on board soon. This of course is huge news as XRP continues to expand their adoption, but also because according to spokesperson of the Foreign Ministry, like many other countries, Vietnam follows with keen interest to join the expanding Brics alliance and were actually one of the 71 countries that were invited to attend the 15th Brics summit, which took place last August in South Africa, which is huge news. And once more, another massive partnership to the growing Brics alliance and their partnership with Ripple and XRP, utilizing XRP for cross-border payments. We can hear in this short clip here from Mr. Man XRP that the Brics are no longer hiding their intent to create a new world order. Take a listen.
An example of the working, and it shows us an indication of the coming age that the kind of diplomacy and international politics that we envision in the Brics is working, that it is workable, that it can create a new kind of world order.
The Brics alliance are now accelerating their aggressive stance on de-dollarization to create a new payment system which is detached from the dollar, detached from SWIFT. As we can hear in this post from Chad Steingabat and Subjective Views, we are now witnessing the birth of the Petro UN, this new payment system in conjunction with Project Enbridge, which utilizes XRP. Pay close attention.
More countries are likely to adopt central bank digital currencies because they make cross-border transactions easier.
It's huge, and I will go as far as to say that this is the birth of what I will call the Petro Yuan, or like we have the Petro dollar, we're now going to have the Petro Yuan from China. What you see here is a long-term plan that's going to be missed by many, and it's lots of little steps taking place very carefully. So you've got Saudi Arabia joining BRICS Plus this past September of 2023. Now you've got Saudi Arabia joining into the Enbridge program because Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa will all have central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs, within the next year, I would say. India and China are obviously already in pilots and going. Russia's in pilot, and I think South Africa is pretty well along to say that within a year they'll be launched as well.
Mm-hmm. So, Rich, this really is a massive change. You talk about the Petro Yuan. What do you think about the timing of this, given that the Saudi deal with the US to sell oil in dollars, the Petro dollar, has lapsed? How big a vote of confidence is this in the yuan?
I don't believe in coincidences. I think that this is a clear message from Saudi Arabia to the United States that we want to do business with the world. And I think it's a strong vote of confidence for doing business with China. And why not? China and Saudi Arabia are big trading partners. We've got China now working on a new natural gas pipeline, a major project worth $1 billion-something in Saudi. There's a tremendous amount of business between Saudi Arabia and China. And the fundamental question is, why shouldn't that business be conducted in RMB? Why does it have to be in dollar? When Saudi Arabia is buying products from China and can readily use RMB and wait for it, get a better deal. So the timing is not a coincidence. It's a strong vote in favor for the yuan, and it's a clear indicator that Saudi Arabia has intention to do business with China in yuan, and we can expect more of it in the future. Expect it to be slow at first, but eventually this is going to take off.
So yes, while the United States dollar will still be the main currency for most transactions, this move helps Saudi Arabia diversify its payment methods, especially with China being its biggest oil buyer. The Bridge project, which includes countries like China, Hong Kong, Thailand and the United Arab Emirates, aims to improve cross-border transactions using CBDCs, and notably Ripple's connection to the Saudi Arabia Monetary Authority and the Bank of International Settlements could facilitate the integration of innovative financial technologies into the Bridge project. This includes the use of CBDCs as native tokens on distributed ledgers, with XRP serving as a neutral bridge currency. So this is official confirmation now that the Brics is using Project Bridge, and we now have even further confirmation here from the BIS of this fact. Feel free to quickly pause the video if you need to, but we can see here the BIS, then we can see they're connecting borders, then we can see their use cases and participating members, and then their designed approach and roadmap. The Brics is utilizing Bridge, and Bridge will use XRP. In fact, they already are. If we go back here to the project participants, we can see the likes of Goldman Sachs, HSBC, UBS, all known Ripple partners. That's just some of them. But then the biggest one here being Standard Chartered, which Ripple recently completed their full acquisition of the company they own, Standard Chartered, which is massive, massive news. But to add it, just one more. To further add confirmation, we have here Zeke Mansell utilizes Bridge platform with Ripple's XRP for efficiency. There it is, black and white, clear as day. Bridge uses XRP, therefore the Brics already use XRP for cross-border payments. And therefore as well, while the Brics are making moves which many are overlooking or just missing, the United States dollar is silently under threat. And it's conversations like these that I'm about to show you that are confirming the new world order is approaching. SWIFT is going to be no more. The Brics alliance continues to grow, and as this happens, so will the influence and adoption and price of XRP. Listen closely.
CBDC may be a solution in search of a problem. So there are countries who are not believing in the future of this kind of digital currency, but also there are intelligence organizations, and I mean in the West, that are pointing the finger to China, looking at, let's say, a sort of digital yuan as a way to avoid sanction and avoid using SWIFT. What's your take on this, Andrew?
A couple of things. Maybe I'll start, if I may, by picking up on Xiaogeng's comments about renminbi internationalization. He and I were working together about probably 10 years ago now on the question of renminbi internationalization as well. I think completely agree with his comments, and it comes down a little bit to being more specific. What do we mean by internationalization? And classically, it means the use of the currency as a reserve asset, and the dollar took over from the pound sterling, and will the renminbi at some point in the future take over from the US dollar? And basically, Xiaogeng's answered that question about the need for questions on institutions. Short term, there's a question of benefits and its use of the use of the renminbi in trade. And if I'm sitting now somewhere maybe in the UAE, and I have a choice between pushing a button and paying in renminbi, and the trade settles immediately because I'm using the CBDC, versus going through the traditional correspondent banking system, and it takes me a few weeks, or maybe it's just a few days, and it costs me more. Well, maybe I will do that trade in renminbi. And for that instant, as it were, I'm happy to do the trade in renminbi, as long as I can immediately switch out of renminbi through some offshore market into dirhams or dollars or whatever. And in that narrow sense, the CBDC may, or the leadership of the renminbi may give China some advantage. But as I touched on earlier, China is also very heavily engaged in getting the operationalization of working across digital currencies, which would remove that need, exactly as in Project Arbor between Saudi and the UAE, who've already said, we don't need to decide on the dirham or the rial. We can just create a mechanism where we trade together in the currencies we each have. And this is primarily a domestic question.
XRP is a token, a crypto destined to be worth thousands of dollars. It was pre-planned to be worth thousands of dollars. The next big break, the next major catalyst we are waiting for, one that will see the biggest upside potential for XRP, is the final judgment in the legal battle. We have some more updates regarding that, with Wall Street expert Linda P. Jones also chiming in as well. But firstly, we can see here from the Good Morning Crypto breaking news: the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, leveraged Ripple's XRP case in the Binance lawsuit. Now, this is significant news because the outcome of the Ripple case could influence whether the SEC wins their case against Binance, and both cases involve the question of whether XRP is a security. The judge in the case, in Ripple's case, already believes not, but this could be massive news. And in that regard, we also have an update here from Ripple CEO Brad Garninghouse. And in summary of what he said, ultimately all class action claims against Ripple was dismissed, which is incredibly massive, incredibly bullish news for XRP and the outcome of this lawsuit, and a settlement deal that will follow, everything massively going in Ripple's favor. However, the California ruling, a single state law, claimed misleading statements against Brad Garninghouse, which will go to trial. These arguments, according to Brad Garninghouse and Ripple's lawyers, seem very weak and doesn't change the fact that XRP was previously deemed as not a security in the New York court decision. So we are now closer than ever before to institution and leading fintechs in the United States being greenlighted for mass adoption of XRP, to seeing IPOs and ETFs and a price explosion. Wall Street expert Linda P. Jones stated in this interview that we could potentially get the settlement deal before the end of next month, the end of July, which would be massive news. And this coincides with what Brad Garninghouse was saying, as he expects the settlement to come before the end of the summer, which is September, but still the timelines do match in a sense. And in a different interview we can see here, again from Linda P. Jones, she actually talks about the roadmap of Ripple's IPO and just how close we are to seeing that XRP explosion. Pay attention.
Before some other companies do, such as Ripple. So I think the legislation has to come in that will make stablecoins real money, that will allow those companies to be registered and scrutinized, audited, etc. I mean, they already are, but another level when they have their IPO, then they become publicly traded. That's another level of regulation. And so we'll see the stablecoins first, and then I think maybe next year might be the Ripple IPO after we have crypto legislation come into effect next year.
So those are the three major factors to look out for now: stablecoin regulations, MiCA, and the rest of them, that will drastically shift the financial landscape, and Ripple's new RLUSD, the new stablecoin, will soak up a large portion of that new liquidity. Then it's the lawsuit verdict, greenlighting mass adoption of XRP in the United States, and of course then you cannot forget about the Brics nations, about the third and final massive, most crucial of them all, the change in the world order happening in the Brics alliance, and seemingly their goal to send XRP to the moon. XRP is destined to be worth thousands of dollars, which is why you can't look short term, so think long term, and I'll see you in the next one.